Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Hey, Badir, how you doing? Hey, Raj. Weekend went very quick. Hey, Lars, how you doing? Good morning. I think I blinked and that weekend went by. Oh, man. Hey, Moran. How are you? Well, I was all excited about some liquidation. And then I remembered, I was like, I was doing the analysis and I started doing it and I was, oh, maybe we'll get a look above and fail of 67.88. And we did momentarily down to 67.55. And then I remembered what happens on Fridays where we liquidate at the end of the day. Well, they just take all that inventory and they sell it at night higher. So, no large move yet. We are inside yesterday's range. Friday. We're in Friday's range and we're also in Friday's value area, right? Which is cost basis, right? So, this blue stuff, that's what they call the value area. That is what I call the cost basis, and it's a distribution from all of this being distributed at higher prices. So we're back up. Overnight inventory is 100% long, right? This is a rare case when you guys would call this a gap if you want, but what happens in that opening auction, there's no selling and a bunch of bids come in and the market opens above the previous day's session's close. So we haven't even tagged the close yet. 100% of all of the trading is above it. Looking for little inventory corrections. I took a little short of 83 and a quarter and I covered it just like 81 and three quarters. Just seeing if there was any real selling. There's not yet. So we're back to the same old thing. We're back to the same old thing. No big seller yet, especially not at, you know, 2:30 in the morning New York time. No sellers yet. And yeah, so we wait. I got a balance zone of 75 to 78. VWAP's at 79. You double it to 84. 84 seems to be working on the top side as two times profit. So let's see what happens now. The candles are getting small, right? We got small candles. So you guys go through the checklist, right? It's Monday morning. Maybe you were watching football yesterday and you had a few too many Budweisers. Does anybody still drink Budweiser? Is that a thing still? I remember in the 80s, all my buddies drank Budweiser. I wasn't really into it, but anyway, and you're a little hungover, or Raj, you've been watching soccer and the other obscure sports, darts, soccer. Just see if you're awake. Ugh. What do you do? Just go through our process, right? So our process is where are we right now? Well, inventory is 100% log. It's choppy as hell. The candles are tiny, so that means business is slow, right? We're waiting for an inventory correction. There is a seller at 84 and a half or 84, sorry. right? So we do have sellers at 84. We've got VWAP down at 79, and they're bidding at 81, so they're front-running VWAP. So tactically, as a trader, how do you think? Well, there's not much to do, isn't there? We got sellers here, and we've got buyers front-running VWAP here. So it's just kind of going back and forth between 81 and 84, right? It's like the song. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you, right? And that's where we are right now. So this is when, if you worked at a trading firm, you would kind of sit, wait for customer orders. If it's slow, you talk about what you did this weekend, right? You wouldn't be just like freaking out. If it goes over here, it goes over there. No, it's not. The business is slow right now, right? You can see there's a seller at 83. Let's see if they lift 83 at a quarter, but it's not worth taking a trade, right? You guys with me? Now, folks in the room, when we did that poll about YouTube, right? A lot of people said to me, well, you know, the people on YouTube ask questions and you kind of ignore us. I'm waiting for you guys to ask questions. That's why I'm talking to the people on YouTube, because if not for them, this room is like a dead room. So please ask questions, right? Don't be embarrassed about asking questions, okay? Right? Don't be embarrassed about asking questions, even if they sound ridiculous, right? You guys need to be involved, right? That's why I do these things. I know what I'm doing. I already know what I'm doing. I'm here for you guys, okay? Oh, look, we got a bid over 84. Woo! Well, bid's moving up. We took the stop by one tick. Let's see if they sell into it. Hey, Jerry, how are you? There are no stupid questions, Mother Truck, especially when it comes to your money. Hey, Doc, what's going on? I got a question. What's the winter like in Saudi? Like, how cold does it get? Because your summers are really hot. So is your like winter just like maybe 25 degrees kind of thing? Ah, yes, school run. Oh, you worked all night? 20. Oh, that's not bad. Okay. We're still getting rid of. Okay, I'm going to go through this because it's slow, and I should. All right. So we had a sell off into Friday, right? N and O were lower than M. There's the close. The interesting thing is that point of control from Friday, which was around 15,000 contracts, that actually never got a chance to move down. It almost did, but there wasn't enough time, right? The market closed. If it had been open, we would have dropped more down here. And we're taking this cheap stuff and we're selling it up here, right? So if you looked at well, if you looked at the profiles, we've got this and we're selling it here, right? So we're looking to see if they have a sale anytime soon here, right? So pretend you're at Walmart and you're waiting for them to call out that sale. There you go, Jiraj. Now you're thinking like you work in a boiler room. When we get sideways action like this, we're waiting to see if it attracts more buyers or sellers, right? And if it's sellers, then those sellers have to compete. Good, good, good. Now you're cooking with gas. Good stuff. Love to see it. It did. Hey, VS. J period did correct down, but not by much, right? Hey, at least it opened and went down at least 6 or 7 ticks, down to like 67, 80 and a half, right? Not much. Not much. So that means that bid's at 80 and a half, then the bid moved up. The next, you see, here's the thing. Think about it this way. Maybe this will help, right? The bottom of every half hour bar, right? Or any bar, 15-minute, half hour, 1 hour, 4 hour, right? That's where the buyers are, right? The top is where the sellers initiate. And then they just stop selling when they find the buyers, right? And then they try and coax the buyer higher, right? So if here, for example, right? Check it out. On a 1 minute, the buyers were here. See, the buyers were here, and then over time they moved up here, and then they moved up here. So in the old days, right, my market maker would call me and say, "Hey, look, Knight's showing me 100, um, I got a bid for 100,000 shares from Citadel, right?" And I'd go, "Okay." He goes, What do you want to do?" I go, "Fill them on half. So sell them 50,000 shares, and then lift your offer up." Right? So he thinks that there's not that much supply. You guys get it? If I fill him on 100,000 shares, well, they'll be like, "Holy shit, excuse my language. I got plugged for 100 at this price, right? I'm going to drop my bid. There's a big seller out there." You guys get it? So you leave them wanting a little more. Now, because of electronic trading and algorithms, it does that instantaneously. Where that conversation I had just now, and I told you what happened, in the time it took for me to explain that, these things can rattle off 300, 400 trades. The efficiency of these algos is amazing, right? And people ask me, "Do you think algo trading is going to change things?" And I say, yes, change things for the better for retail traders and artificial intelligence. Why? Because it's going to make the business more and more efficient, which means we can use tighter stops, which means our business expenses will be less, especially at slower times, right? The market's going to be very precise. You can already see the change over the last 2 years, how precise the market trades. It trades down to levels to the tick, right? So don't complain about automated trading and all that stuff, because what it's doing is it's making your life as a retail trader much better. Trading breakouts is hard, Jiraj. I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about how to hold trades longer for you guys and how to trade breakouts. Breakouts usually work better after a flush. That's something that I've noticed. The first breakout is not really a breakout because we dump into it, right? You guys come running in to buy going, "Oh, look, ice cream, ice cream." You're holding out your little $5 bills and we just take all your money and then slam it back down. But after a market has flushed and then it breaks out to the top, because we flushed out the overhanging inventory, right? The breakout seems to have more legs. Friday low was one tick lower than Thursday's value low. Yeah, it's been a very mechanical market. The 0 and 1 mafia really have like programmed this thing. They've got it on lock, right? So as I was saying on that half-hour bar, the bid moved up from 75 to 79 to 80 to 82. That means the buyers are chasing price higher, right? Sellers are seeing buyers and they're raising prices. You see confirmation of that on the 1 minute chart, from 80 and 3/4, 81, 82, 83/4. Now the bid's up here at 84. So you don't want to short that just yet, right? So what's the practical use of that? Well, it's a crappy long, but it does work if you were patient and bought position between 81 and 82 and you could sell 84, right? Maybe with 5 or 10, right? Or if you're thinking of shorting like I was, looking for a correction, no short yet. So you can just chill out and not blow any money. Sometimes it's really nice to start a Monday not losing money when you trade. You know, it's like the Beach Boys song, Wouldn't It Be Nice? You know, wouldn't it be nice on Monday if you could actually sit and observe a market and get some tactical information without losing a lot of money just to start the week? Now we're creeping. And this is the worst kind of price action because it looks slow, it looks weak. People say it's trading heavy, but the offers are moving higher, right? And for you kids at home, the Beach Boys were a legendary band a long time ago. They don't know, Moran. Oh, ugh. J period. Hey, Jack, the last we had I and J correct inventory on a shorter time frame. That's the last time we had an inventory correction. And then Friday afternoon was the last sort of swing inventory correction. Hey, Juan, how you doing? Oh, see? And then all of a sudden the offer lifts, right? It looks boxed and it lifts. Follow through is difficult because if you are long, you have to sit in the long, right? And if you're a scalper like me, I don't like sitting in trades that long, right? That's just me. Like some people are good at sitting in trades. Doc can sit in trades for hours, right? He's much more patient than I am, right? Friday we corrected lower before the Sunday open. Yeah, Friday we corrected inventory like nobody, the people who did want to hold over the weekend, they puked out on Friday at the close. So what happens is when they puke out on Friday at the close down here, right? That is this is what um, Don Miller used to call the catcher's mitt trade. He would buy here, hold it over the weekend, and sell into the pop, right? Or if this happened overnight, like say this was Thursday and it liquidated like this, he'd buy it and hold it, because he's a larger account trader, and then sell into this pop. And they call that the catcher's mitt, right? Catcher's mitt, look below and fail, right? That's because here's the thing. Liquidating inventory, right, is collected in wholesale hands. The shorts come in and bid down here at 60. So the smart money shorts come in and buy. Wholesale longs build a position. There it is. And then when the market opens again, here comes retail. Thank you very much. We take this and sell it into this and sell it into this. You see? It's beautiful, right? Now, the other thing that we've done that people don't realize, and I'll tell you this right now, and it's true because, listen, I was trained by some of the most savage bastards on the street, right? My clients would like take down brokerage firms for fun, right? Seriously. Like they would actually engineer and orchestrate the takedown of a clearing firm or a brokerage firm. Do you know how evil you have to be to take down a clearing firm? Like what you do is when you liquidate here, somebody buys all the supply, right? The shorts are bid, wholesale buys, and then all the dumb money shorts short into this area, right? That's the dumb money shorts. And trust me, they're always around, right? There's a sucker born every minute, right? Remember the saying. They are holding the market up as we go higher. It's their bid to cover. And that bid is moving higher. So you buy all the inventory here, right? You use these idiots to hold the market up while you sell it for a higher price. POC moves up. Good distribution. Do you guys get it? Does that make sense? That's the business of what's happening. So you use that knowledge to trade in the right direction. Get it? Right? And VS Squad had a good question. He goes, doesn't J period usually correct down? If it doesn't correct down very much like today, it means somebody's got an appetite at 67.80, right? Someone's a little desperate at 67.80. Otherwise, they'd try and buy it at 75. Now, all the people who've been shorting it here, and it happens on a smaller time frame too. How many people do you think are short in this in this area here and here? Who shorted here, added to it here? As long as those lows keep creeping higher, that means the bid is moving higher, right? You don't need a pattern or an indicator to see it. You just look at the bottom of the candles, right? And like I said before last week, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the type of candle it is or a bottom. All it matters is that a transaction occurred there. So we don't care if it was a wick or whatever the hell you guys call it, but there's a print. The print is all we care about, right? You'll hear traders talk about the print, 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 and then down. print, right? Print is transaction. Now we got 2 minutes before London opens. So everything you've explained so far can tell us that a short is not in play. Exactly. We can look to our skill and decide what to do. If we have a trade to set up, yeah, if then do nothing. There you go. Nailed it, Travis. Trading is a lot like going fishing. You know, Travis, you're in BC, right? You have any friends who are commercial fishermen? I do, right? I used to. And sometimes they'd go out and there's slim pickings, right? They go out and put out a set. They don't get much, right? So sometimes you go out there, like right now, unless you were long between 81 and 82 and selling 84, 85, like a wholesaler, there's really no trade. Now let's see. London's going to open here in a minute. Let's see if we can push this thing down and take out that K low. Right? London always likes to do a little lower action, right? I had one buddy of mine who worked commercial fishing boats. He was the cook. And I still remember one time he went out with these guys, the boat sank. The second time he went out on another boat, the boat got hit by a trawler and sank. And that was it. Nobody would give him a job because they were like so superstitious. They're like, nope. So London opens and we've got a 5 tick range. Doesn't even know which way to go. Look at that. Look at the offer going back and forth, boing, boing, boing. But there's just no flow. Look, there's no customer traffic. Right, here we go. Can we get under 84? There we go. Let's see if we can go take out the low of K period. Now, had I had more coffee, in hindsight, that would have been a good short at 84. Couldn't take out the K low. Now it'll go right back up to 83 and 3/4, 84. There it is. I'm a little slow, mother truck. I was up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I couldn't sleep. I'm going to kind of take it easy this morning and kind of dial in slow. So back above 84, right? Now that we've flushed this thing, trapped people short now under 83, let's see if we can go up and take out 86. Yeah, this coffee is really not high octane. I thought it would be. Oftentimes Monday, I call it weekend brain. Sometimes I won't be able to see things, so I need to clue in, or sometimes I'll be able to see things, but I'm just like, ugh, and I won't transact on it. That is lack of discipline on my part. So at least you got to be aware of it, right? You got to be aware of how you're thinking and how you're feeling, so you can modify your behavior and tweak things, right? The best trading psychology, folks, happens before you lose money. Okay? There's no use blowing up your account and then thinking about trading psychology, right? That's really kind of stupid, don't you think? Why don't you use trading psychology before you blow up your account? So use it in a practical way. Like realize when you're undisciplined, realize if you're over trading, realize, be aware of yourself. You know, a little self-awareness, right? Now let's see. You can see, check this out, right? So candle traders, look at this. The offer has been going lower and lower and lower and lower and lower, right? That's what you guys have that trend line, right? That means sellers are competing. So when you see evidence like that, that's good to short, right? Now when it starts breaking 84 half, 85, it means the sellers have seen buyers and they're raising prices. Still a seller. Let's see if we can. Nope, not much follow through. So and that's another problem with this type of trading. You'll get one opportunity, and if you miss it, then it just kind of futzes around like it's doing now. Okay, we got a seller at 83 half. Good. Short 83. And I got a bid in at 82 and a at 82, and if it gets above 83 quarter, I'll scratch it. 83 quarter, 83 half. See if I can buy something on the bid here at 82 quarter. Nope. Oh, come on. You rat bastard. Print the 82s, you bastard. Come on, Philby. 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 Give me my print, you rat bastard. Give me my print. There. It's a lot of work for one micro. Uh, things we do to amuse ourselves. Okay, let's see if we can get down to 81 now. I should have been short 83, 84. Bad trade location. Now the other thing we can do is we could just sit here and distribute, right? Between 82 and 86, 85, 82 and 85, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Stop selling at 82, initiate selling at 85, stop selling at 82, initiate 85. Lift, print. See? Do you guys see how the offer lifts and then prints? The offer is making the market. There you go. See how the offer lifts and prints? It means it sees buyers. It's taking advantage of it. See if we can get an 83 and 3/4 print. No, not yet. And everybody always asks me, well, why don't the wholesalers sell higher? Just move their offer up and sell higher. Well, it's because somebody else will come in and take all the customers, right? Somebody else will, like, if you go and offer 84, right, or 83 and 3/4, you saw how it offered that all of a sudden it popped back to 83 half because somebody came and undercut. You could use these slow periods, watch the offer, and you could learn a lot if you're a person that likes learning, and that's going to really help your trading. Because if you understand the mechanics of how something works, you're not going to make stupid decisions, right? Most of trading comes from losses come from not knowing what the hell's going on, right? How could you possibly expect to make money if you don't know what the hell's going on? And then you've got some idiot telling you that it's random, right? Like, really? So all these hedge funds and everyone's just randomly throwing billions and trillions of dollars around the world just to see if it works? You really think that's how business is done? Okie dokie. Oh. Yeah, the only thing random is us. We are the random part. Once inventory was accumulated during Friday, low area has been distributed. Should we expect even higher prices? Well, that's the thing, Jirash, right? Even though the volume is not that much, it's nothing compared to the liquidation on Friday, right? It's only 50,000 contracts, right? But what it is scarcity of supply at night, right? It's like, oh, how do I explain this? In the daytime, there's lots of supply. You know, it's like when you go clubbing at night and then all the restaurants are closed, but there's like this one crappy restaurant that's open, right? And they've got a lineup. That's what's going on, right? The longer you hold price stable without a lot of competition, more buyers will come in. That's just human nature. Public transport, less buses at night. Can you explain the concept of outside money, new money? Well, in this case, it's outside new money, speculative money, right? So, Jag, there's investment money and then there's speculative money, right? So, investment money says, okay, we like this stock, we know the board of directors, we have our hand firmly around the throat of the CEO, so he can't go to the bathroom unless he asks us permission. We like this stock. We're going to take down 50 million shares of it and hold it for 30 years. That's big investment money. Smaller investment time frames are, 5, 10 years kind of thing, depending on the type of company, right? So that's buy and hold, right? You buy that stock, it goes into the crypt, nobody touches it, you know. You can make money loaning it out on a stock borrow or something like that, but you don't trade it actively back and forth. Okay? That's investing. That's when the fundamentals of the company are important. What's more important than the fundamentals of the company is the control that the large shareholders have over the CEO, right? You don't think Larry Fink has, what's his name? Cookie from Apple? Cookie Monster. You don't think that he's got his phone number on speed dial? Right? If you got a billion shares of a company? This is speculation. Futures are speculative instruments. They allow people to hedge. They allow people to access liquidity, right? So what has happened since we've had, 20 years of low interest rates and big boom cycles on Wall Street? You have a lot of traders who have left desks at Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Citadel, really sharp people, smart, sophisticated, well capitalized, with the best technology. They, they have quants, they have coders, they have tech guys. They're running their data feeds are hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Their tech they spend millions of. They have a competitive advantage over all of us, and moreover that they have something that that we're trying to develop, and that's skill. Right? So they're well capitalized and they have skill, right? So they are pushing this market around basically, like a cat with a ball of string. They're just knocking it all over the place. And the returns that some of these private partnerships, small hedge funds are making are insane. Right? It's a very speculative market. You know how you can tell it's a speculative market, and it's a good question that you asked. And why is it important that we realize that it's a speculative market? Well, the thing is, let me just undo all these mergers. Right? Look at this. Look at how the ranges are so big. Right? The ranges are huge. We have gap downs, gap ups. It trades like a penny stock, this thing. Right? And if you'll notice, this is more when you look at this here, that is how institutions trade when they're trying to buy a product, right? There's a top and a bottom, and the market's boxed. And you can put on size here, right? And then you go and distribute, right? When it liquidates, it comes right back to that balance zone, right? There's our COVID low, right? So you can see every time this market has an event, right? Every time this market has an event like that, that's what I call a margin event, right? When all the margin longs get flushed out. But the people who own 900 million shares of Apple, they didn't sell it here, right? They didn't sell it here because this is a short-term event. They're holding for 40 years. That's why this market never goes lower. Go look at the stock concentration and go look at the stock ownership of all the large capitalized stocks. It's like they're pooled. It's almost like running a pool back in the old days, where the stock is pooled and it never sees the light of day. That's why Apple has 16 billion shares available for trading, and maybe 40 to 60 million of that trades on a daily basis. The rest of it's locked up. Very different. And people wonder why this thing has had, what, 29, 31 all-time highs this year? Yeah, Jiraj, it's like you and your dad. If you're selling and you've got no competition, right? Beautiful, right? You could increase the price of your goods. Well, I figured we might as well talk about something. I mean, that's why these stocks never go down. I mean, look at this stuff. Look at Apple. And if you look at Apple, everyone's cost basis in Apple, where these guys dug in, was $30, $40, right? So they're just sitting on it. Like, I think of Microsoft. When people say Microsoft, I remember I used to trade this thing on the trade desk, and it was back here. It's like $40. I always think Microsoft 30 to $40, right? What's it trading at now? $517 a share. Crazy, right? Low interest rates, nobody sells stock. This is what you get, right? This is what you get. Let's see if we can liquidate this thing now. That's why people who short the market long term just get eaten alive. Because this thing's not meant to sell off. It's meant for capital appreciation over longer time frames, decades. Right? That's why the way it's built, that's the way stock is allocated, and that's where we call it in the penny stock market, we call it warehousing stock. So all of these big firms, BlackRock, Vanguard, right? They're like big warehouses where stock goes. It's like that place in Indiana Jones where they put the Ark, right? That big warehouse. They wheel the stock into the warehouse and it never sees the light of day. That's why the market never sells off. It's pretty simple. Nobody talks about it. That's what I tell people. When you look to buy a stock, don't just look at the company. Look who owns the stock. How do they operate? Are they like some hedge fund? Like, what's that guy? Um, what's that guy's name? He's in and out of stocks, but he makes good money, like hundreds of millions a year. Is it Boaz Weinstein? One of these fund managers. They're really like like they'll finance a company and then bang, 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 they're out of the stock. Quick 200 million here, 300 million there, 200 million here, right? Are they hit and run guys? Or are they like investors where they come in like a Bailey Gifford and hold stock for 30 years, right? So who owns the stock that you're looking to buy and invest in? You guys have all gone quiet. I thought I'd talk about something to keep you guys entertained while this thing does absolutely nothing, right? So look who owns your stock. It'll tell you a lot. Look how the stock trades. I'll be doing a lot of stuff. I'll be doing a webinar on this in the room hopefully this week. Because some deals are great for trades, but not so great for investing. And if you're going to invest long term, get to know the CEO. Look at the behavior of the CEO. Like, did anybody think that Adam Newman was stable? They were giving him billions for WeWork. Right. The crazy genius CEO thing, don't bank too hard on that. There's not very many of them. Sometimes they're just crazy. Can we get under 82 AZS? Oh, there we go. 81 and 3/4. There we go. Here we go. Look at this. I'm getting excited about 6 ticks. Check it out. 81 print. We actually broke a stop. Beautiful. Nice call, AZS. If you're short, I'd bid 80. I'd bid 80 or 80 and 1/4. See if you could get anything. Don't wait for it. Put your runner under VWAP if you want. But they're going to front run VWAP. I'd be very surprised if they don't. Ooh. Well, that's it for me, folks. Damn thing couldn't even break 81. Just briefly for like a minute. Sure, no problem. Hang on. Thanks, everyone. Have a good morning. I think if we get a liquidation here, this would be very healthy. Definitely, Mother Truck. We'll see you in a little bit. Excuse me. Slow creep towards VWAP. AZS, I DM'd you. Alrighty, folks. Have a wonderful morning. We'll see you at 9 o'clock Eastern Time for the next session. And thank you for watching the tradingsyndicate.org. Come check out our room if you want to learn how to trade in an environment where you'll actually learn how to make money and manage risk like a professional without all the double talk. Thanks, everyone. Have a great morning. Bye for now.